We know that.
He is a viewer, him and his wife and their entire entourage. They watch every minute of my show. Trump certainly didn't. I know Trump, I think, stays much more in the mainstream media.
Yes.
In terms of watching what he watches. But
he must have been completely confused.
He sounded very confused. He said he was very confused when the leader of France took him aside.
Of a nuclear-armed country.
During negotiations for Ukraine and Russia to inquire about whether or not he knew Candace Owens. And clearly it was an emergency because it wasn't like Trump called me 2 days after or a week after. It wasn't like a side conversation that, oh, let's take care of that. I was messaged by the intermediary hours after Macron left, maybe even an hour after Macron had left, and said, like, we need to get on the phone with you.
The President of the United States.
Well, first, the person said, somebody very close to the President of the United States is asking me to ask you to stop talking about
the racketeering.
And I'd like to point out, Rob Shooter, what they were saying to Tisa Tells. Rob, they were saying, we're going to do worse to you than we did to Cassie. Shooter, I mean,
it's heartbreaking.
Diddy has to be condoning this. He has been orchestrating the crowd. He's been orchestrating everything.
Yeah, Nancy, I think looking for Diddy to do the right thing at this moment is unrealistic. This is who he is. The whole world has seen who he is. And unfortunately, there's a large amount of people out there who are just perfectly fine with this. Nobody can pretend anymore that we don't know who Diddy is. We know. We've seen him on tape. That tape will exist forever. We've heard the testimonies. We've heard the accounts. We've heard the details. We've seen them. And yet, some people still support him. There's nothing we can do about that, Nancy. And to think that Diddy is going to stop it, that ain't going to happen. He's going to encourage it.
Weinstein's ex-wife, who he's now with.
Yeah, that was a good catch, by the way.
Very good catch.
Tossing it. I mean, I would have put it. Well, I would have put it under my Oscar.
Well, we've got a clip, I think. Let's have a look at that.
Yeah.
Let's see Adrian Brody tossing the gun. I'm going to say, if I tried that stunt with my wife, she'd have gone absolutely ballistic. But also, by the way, can we just get our heads around the fact this is kind of one of the first big public outings of this couple, where you've got this incredible actor and you've got the ex-wife of Harvey Weinstein, and obviously no shame on her for what her beast of a husband did, but it's still a pretty random thing, isn't it, to see it play out in the front row of an Oscars event.
And especially catch a piece of gum being
good not to keep secrets, not to be hiding, and it feels vulnerable and scary.
Scary how?
I was really excited for the book to come out, but about 3 weeks before I had sort of this crisis, before it was publishing, and I thought, what have I done? Like, all of my secrets, my interior world, my messiest version of myself is out there. And yeah, I had a lot of fear.
Yeah, about what that whole thing about what people are going to think.
What people are going to think.
Say.
Yeah, judgment.
All of it.
All of it.
Well, I really appreciate the way you start the book, literally on page 1. You say reading was your first addiction, and you go on to say that the truth is you have only ever had one addiction, the white whale of addictions, escape from as far back.
The child word? It is my own business. You call him a okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again? Fuck you. Huh? All right, that's what you say. You don't go digging through people's shit, you dumb fuck. Nobody digging through your shit. A little fucking kid just did, you dumbass. That little kid, you call him yeah. The little child? What if he acts like one is gonna Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child 5-year-old.
Well, as you can see, Hendricks doesn't deny using the slur. In fact, she repeats it many times. That's all the stuff that's bleeped out. When a bystander in the park follows her with his smartphone. Hendricks set up a fundraiser on the same website as Carmelo Anthony's supporters, on which she wrote, "I called the kid out for what he was." Incredibly, that campaign has now raised more money than the first one, surpassing $655,000 at the time of taping the show. Well, the boss of the website
you, first and foremost, for being part of this community. The team here at the Diver CEO is now almost 30 people, and that's literally because you watch and you subscribe and you leave comments and you like the videos. That this show's been able to grow, and it's the greatest honor of my life to sit here with these incredible people and just selfishly ask them questions that I'm pondering over or worrying about in my life. But this is just the beginning for the Diver CEO. We've got big plans to scale this show to every corner of the world and to diversify our guest selection, and that's enabled by you, by a simple thing that you guys do, which is to watch. So if there's one thing you could do to help this show and to help us continue to do what we do, it's just to hit the subscribe button. If you like this show, if you like what we do here, if you watch these episodes, please just hit that subscribe button. It means the world. Let's get on with it. What do I need to know about you and your earliest years to
in this room that I was invited here as a woman. So if we're going to engage in a conversation with each other, I would appreciate the respect of being talked to as a woman for this conversation. You don't have to agree, but I'm not going to be in here and being talked to that way because we were invited here all as women.
You were actually invited here as a trans woman.
Yes, trans woman. That's called a distinguisher, friend.
What does it truly mean to be a woman? In today's episode of The Bridge, conservative women and trans women come together for a raw, honest, and respectful conversation about identity, gender, rights, and roles in society. This isn't about winning an argument.
In June, and the article is written by Roisin Langan. I'm going to read this very spicy excerpt. Hey, do you like listening to Lana Del Rey? What about Fiona Apple, Mitski, Hole, Melanie Martinez, Marina? Can you recite the cool girl speech from Gone Girl verbatim? Do you love that one Jacques-Louis David piece, Portrait of a Woman in White? Not because you care about art, but because you like the broken female protagonist of Atessa Moshfegh's literature. Do you have a favorite Lisbon sister? And is it Lux? Are you still mourning the loss of Tumblr? Do you like to read Vladimir Nabokov's Lolita? Do you enjoy Catholic iconography? Press to describe yourself or to have others describe you. Would you be comfortable with adjectives like toxic or manipulative? If the answer to any of these questions is yes, then congratulations. You might be a femcel. So this article got a lot of heat on TikTok and Twitter mostly for a lot of reasons. Me personally, when I read this article, the first thing that came up